Hello, you guys, and thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Talk About It Thursday here on the Journey Podcast, where I am your host, Kiera. It's always my pleasure to be in your presence. I hope that you guys are having an amazing week. I hope that this Thursday is coming up to an end of something beautiful. I hope you guys get good news today. I hope I get good news today too. It's October. Where are my rubber bands? Y'all, I just woke up. I brushed my teeth and I did not put my rubber bands in my mouth. It's okay. It's okay for just a little while. I promise I'm gonna go put them in my mouth immediately after I finish recording. And so, with that being said, guys, I hope you guys were able to tune in to Kelly's episode where she shared her journey about step parenting on Sunday. It was really good, guys, and that definitely influenced this week's episode. So this week I'm just kind of doing homework off of Sunday's episode. Um, yeah, step parenting is what we were talking about. I myself am a step parent, and my husband's a step parent as well. I think the first thing that I would like to say is that just as it is important to be careful who you have children with, it is important to be careful who you step parent with. Or who you bring in as a step parent, because I feel like Kelly is such a graceful person and an understanding person. Just like knowing her outside of being a step parent, just knowing her personally, and so she is one that has taken on the assignment that she's taken on with the capability to do so. And so I think that you should one, when you're becoming a step parent, courting the person prior to being in a relationship, maybe getting to know the situation, because not everybody has a good co-parent situation. Not everybody has a good co-parent. And so sometimes it's about the finances. So sometimes you get with someone that does not have the financial help from the biological parent of their child or children. Sometimes you're getting in a relationship with someone that their co-parenting looks different from what you think co-parenting is. Maybe it's a lot of involvement where it's just like, okay, the dynamics are different, and so you might not be used to it. Sometimes it looks like the kid's coming over every weekend, every other weekend, or staying every week. And so you have to make sure that prior to going into the relationship, that you're okay with what co-parenting looks like for the other party. That is definitely extremely important, because you don't want to get into a relationship with somebody and really like them, and then you see, oh no, I don't like how you co-parent. Like y'all are too this, or y'all are too that, or whatever the case may be. Some people are not even good parents, and their co-parent isn't a good parent either. And so now you feel like, oh, I gotta do too much in this relationship, because here you are, that's your natural, that's who you are, you're naturally a great parent, and maybe that person might suck as a parent. And so you just never know. Or maybe they're like really really involved with their kids, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. So people, I appreciate parents, that moms and dads, that are extremely involved with their children. And so I respect what that looks like. I like, oh, we're getting the kids every week. We're getting or I would appreciate that. While somebody else might not be okay with that. So when you're going into this type of relationship, you have to make sure that you're okay with the dynamics and what it looks like to be a co-parent, prior to getting serious. So you want to ask these questions. These are pre-relationship questions that you should ask. If you don't ask, then you find yourself overly frustrated because you weren't prepared. So you asked in order to prepare. And so those that don't have to co-parent with anybody, um, I wouldn't say that it's easier for you, because like you need support. You need support. There's no ands if or buts about it. And I feel like having a co-parent just broadens and widens the community that, because it takes, well, the village, that's what I wanted to say. It makes the village bigger. And so why be upset that your village is bigger? Why be upset that somebody else is coming in and making it easier for you, taking a little bit more off your plate? Because 3 and 4 is better than 2. I would rather have 4 crab cakes than 2 crab cakes to support my hunger. And it's just like if the other party, if the step parent is treating your child the way that you would treat your child, or the way that um or they're just treating your child good, why be upset? You know, why take it as a competition? If you feel like they're a better parent than you are, why don't you do better? Get better, do better. It's okay to take a step back and say, wow, this person is a good dad. I want to be more like him. The kids like him. Or this person is a great mom. My kid likes them. I want to be more like them. It's okay for you to see that somebody else does a role better than you were capable of doing it. And who knows what the reason is why. Maybe you're a first time parent and they're not a first time parent. And so they're more skilled, they're more knowledgeable, they're more, and so take that and learn from it, grow from it. Don't take that and get upset that they're a good parent, or they're a good step parent, or that I'm mad that my kid likes you. That sounds crazy. And then try to make it about something else. Oh, well, that's not what I'm at. I don't care about that. Like, nobody's trying to step on your toes when being a step parent. I'm pretty sure that anybody would agree with me when I said, if all I had to take was the person and they didn't come with anything, I'd be grateful. I'd be grateful to not have to deal with somebody else, because at the end of the day, it's like you're in a relationship with that person too. When it comes to the kids, it's like, okay, here we are trying to all do what's in the best interest of the kids, and somebody doesn't agree. The more people you have, the more people you have to deal with, as far as like, okay, do you agree with this? And this is what I think the kids should, or this is just a suggestion. And you're like, oh no. Like, if somebody's making a positive suggestion when it comes to your kid or your kids, why would you be upset? Like, nobody's trying to take your place. Nobody's trying to, but you should be grateful. I feel like if my kids had a step parent, I feel like I would want them to be somebody that I know would make sure my kids are okay in the event that something happened to me, versus like creating a hostile co-parenting ship. I'm just making up words. Versus just creating that, and then something happening to me and be like, like, child, that ain't my kid, And so I would want somebody to be like, which you don't have to be friends with somebody to have a healthy relationship with them. Co-parenting does not have to look like, oh, well, or, oh, I'm friends with his kid's mom. You don't have to be friends with their mom. I am not friends with anybody that has kids with the same people that I have kids with. Um, I'm just not that type of person. I just want to know that you're kind. I can be cordial. I can hold a conversation with them, but I would not say, oh, yeah, we're friends. No, we're not friends. I don't know this person. I have no desire to build a friendship with them. I do know that this person is a good person, but just because somebody's a good person doesn't mean that y'all gotta be friends. Um, y'all can talk, and I see a lot of posts where people are like, oh, look at us. We set our differences aside and became the best of friends. And I love that for them. But I'm just not that type of person. Like, I don't desire to be the best of friends with somebody that has kids with the same people that I have kids with. It's just like, I'm not even friends with them for real, you know? It's like, we have the same kid and that's it. And we have to work together. And so we do that. It's like coworkers. Just because we work together does not mean that we're friends. So my coworkers, they're great. They're good people. And so I wouldn't say that, that I've always been this way or I've always been easy to deal with as far as a co-parent because early on, when I was younger, um, I was definitely just different. Like I wouldn't even talk to somebody like, oh, you're the person's girlfriend. Like I wouldn't even talk to them. Like, what am I talking to you for? And that's how I used to feel. But then when you think about it, it's like, okay, it's okay to have to communicate with that person because you might have to come pick these kids up, Pooh. You might have to come get them. So I need to have a conversation with you. Hey, how you doing? Yes, the kids are ready. They're packed. They're good to go. Are you having the best day? I hope. Yeah. Yeah, you're so cute. Look at you, pretty girl. That's me. That's the type. And so I think that it would be easy for somebody to want to be my friend, but I have no desire to be like have that type of relationship with somebody. Because what are we gonna talk about? Like if I'm in a relationship with your kid's other parent, and I like say we want to double date. What are we like? I don't know. I guess for some people, to each his own. Whoever that works for it works for it. I'm not knocking it. I just would not want to. I wouldn't want to do that. Like we can do birthday parties together. I think Kelly was saying that she and her husband would do parties with the other parties, and so and this year they decided to do something different just because of to avoid any awkwardness. And so I'm not an awkward person. I'm like easy to be around and I'm not going to be like talking about you or anything. I have no desire to talk about anybody that I co-parent with or um that is in my village. I have no desire to talk about that person because I appreciate you. I appreciate you for being a part of the village. I appreciate you for loving my kid as your own because you don't have to do that. And some people are in relationships with people that do not like their kids, and that is weird. That is weird. If I'm here, I'm with you, we're together, and that's to me, guys. Please don't take anything that I'm saying personal, because this is me and my feelings and my take on it. And so, if you are with somebody and they have a problem and y'all live together and they have a problem with your kid or your kids being in the household, that's a red flag because at this point, because you have kids, you have to consider them, and where they're not welcome, you shouldn't want to even go, not unless it's adult only party or something. But if there's other kids there and if the person has kids and they don't welcome your kid in or make the sacrifice. I don't care if it's like, oh well, your kid can't come over because there's no food. What? Go to the store. Like what? I ever listen, guys. You know what? It's so crazy. I've heard some of the in this week, and I have to share this with Kelly. I have to remember to share with her. I have heard so many um step parent, co-parent takes that it is crazy what some people are willing to accept just to say, you know what, I'm in a relationship or oh, I love you. Love does not look like that. Love looks like accepting the kids. Love looks like welcoming them in as your own. Love looks like um, making the same sacrifices that you would make for your own kids. If we don't have groceries for your kid to come over, what were we gonna do for the kids that's already here? What were we gonna eat? And so I have heard so many things this week, just in this week, that is crazy. How to me, to each his own. Everybody deals with and is okay with whatever they would like to be okay with, and that's them. Um, I'm not knocking anybody what anybody does, but how much do you what type what parent what kind of parent um does not is okay with somebody that always has an excuse for not welcoming their partner's kid, maybe starting an argument every time the kid comes around, kind of thing. That is a red flag. Your kid should not experience that, and kids pick up on energy too, and so your kids should not experience that type of vibe. Like, they shouldn't experience um being tolerated because they're your kid, and they shouldn't have to experience like, y'all. I really could just go on and on about this whole co-parenting thing for real. It's so choose people that love your children. Pay attention to how they are with and around your kids. Attentions. Pay attention to the little comments that they make when you mention being there for your kids, showing up for your kids. Pay attention to their level of involvement when it comes to your kids. Um, because at the end of the day, no, that is a not for me personally. That's a non-negotiable. If you do not like my kids, you do not like me. If you do not, if you just can't with my kids, then you can't with me. And I'm not going back and forth about it. I'm not looking past anything. I'm not gonna be okay with the fact that you you have a problem with my kids, or you have a problem with the relationship that I have with my kids, or whatever the case may be. And so um I just I feel like a lot of the times that's how relationships get messed up with the children, the bond that you have with your children. That's how it gets messed up, because sometimes, so if you allow someone to come in and just alter the relationship that you have with your kids, and they want to limit the amount that you spend, or how like what you being there for them looks like, that is a problem. That is a red flag. That is a non negotiable. That is not okay. Pay attention to your partner when it comes to your kids. Pay attention to the things that they say, the little jokes that they make, or, and so forth and so on. And also, um, just be mindful that be capable of detaching yourself from, and that's that. I'm actually going to give y'all a little sneak peek of Sunday's episode. We're talking about detachment on Sunday, so come prepared to take notes. Come prepared um just, to like really maybe enhance your skills um in detachment. And so, yeah, that's that. But yeah, as far as co-parenting goes, guys, make sure your partner likes your kids, like your partner's kids. If you don't, those are grounds for detachment. We can't, you know what? Your kids, your co-parenting, whatever it is, I don't, I don't agree with it, and that's okay. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. I just personally don't, care for it, and that's okay, guys. You are responsible for your own happiness, and so if you accept things that don't make you happy, then you are the reason why you're not happy. You can't blame anyone else but yourself, because you're accepting that. And so just pay attention, guys. Pay attention. Be vocal. Don't be afraid to say, "Hey, you know what? It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not that like this. No, I'm not willing to. I'm not willing to go for what you're going for. That's okay. It's okay, guys. It's not. It's nothing. Is nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, you know what? I don't agree with that," or "Hey, you know what?" And that's setting boundaries. That's something that we're gonna be talking about soon too. Um, that is setting boundaries. Set those boundaries and stand on them. If you do not, if or it could be that you're not willing to take on the load that comes with that person, and that is okay. You're entitled to not want that for you. You're entitled to that. That doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make you that doesn't make you anything but who you are. And someone would have to respect the fact that you could say, "Hey, you know what?" Like with myself, so one would have to I would have to respect somebody saying, like, if my husband was to say, "You know what?" Early on, if he say this now, I'll be like, "Don't blow me." Um, but if he had said, "You know what? You got too much kids. That's more than I am willing to handle." That's okay. And you don't have to be nasty about it. Like I see a lot of jokes with about people saying if she got 3 kids or if he got 4 kids or whatever the case may be, if they got X amount of kids, um nobody's gonna want them. That's a red flag. That is baloney. It does not matter how much kids you have. If you handle parenting well, then how much kids you have really in some senses don't even like, you know. I think I personally, and that's just me, I think that some of the people that are intimidated by, well, I wouldn't even say intimidated, or just that try to avoid people with a lot of kids, they have they don't have the financial ability to take on that. And that's not even just that. Sometimes they don't even have the mental capacity to take on that. Does that make them a bad person? No, it doesn't. But a person that has the mental capacity to take on tasks that may appear difficult, that could get difficult, or um, and so forth and so on, or may have the financial capability to take on that if that is needed, because it's not always needed. Everybody with a lot of kids does not need financial assistance. I don't know why people think that. Like some people just have like what? Some people have it in their mind like, oh, you know what? Somebody told me when I told them I had 7 kids, they told me, I know you need help. I do need help, but I can who doesn't want help, you know? But I can take care of I can take what's on my I can handle what's on my plate by myself. I don't need and then the co-parents that I have, we do for the most part. Um uh we I do what I'm supposed to do as far as, you know, when it comes to my kids. It doesn't matter who don't do, who does do. Um, when it comes to my children, yeah, I can take care of that. And so I don't need a relationship for somebody to help me with my kids. You know, and so I think that sometimes people just kind of see somebody with a lot of kids and just they instantly get like, ah, I cannot afford to take that on. And that's okay. If you can't, I'm glad that you were capable of acknowledging that firsthand. You don't have to be negative towards me and say, "Oh, you got all okay." Shut up. And so that is it. Yeah. If you are dating someone that is in a relationship, or if you have kids with someone that is in a relationship, what kind of co-parent are you? Do you make it hard for the other party um, to show up for your kid? Are you intimidated by that person? In this, guys, you don't have to. comment on the YouTube video to tell me the answer to that. If you want to, you can. Do you feel like they make you look bad as a parent because of the type of parent that they are? Um, just let me know. Let's talk about it. Because like Kelly said, talking about it definitely helps. I always say that, and so it gives you time to self reflect and work on you, and make sure that you are creating what's best for your kid or your kids. Um, yeah. So choose wisely. Choose wisely first who you have children with. That's first and foremost. If you don't already have kids, choose wisely who you co-parent with. Choose wisely who you are a godparent to. um, just choose wisely. Because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own happiness. You're responsible for the well-being of your mental health. Well, the upkeep of your mental health, and so um set those boundaries, guys. I love you guys with my whole heart. Like I said, like I always say, I'm always happy to see you guys. I hope that this episode means something to you. And yeah, I'll see you guys Sunday. Later.